Been crying all day. I've been just in a funk. Yeah.
This new year, by the way, hello 2024.
Oh, yay. Yay for a new year.
A new year, same old fucking me.
Same old shit.
Same old
Yes.
shit.
Yes.
Yeah, so you've been crying all day. What
Yep.
happened?
Nothing. My kids are terrors.
Yeah, aren't they? Jeez, Louise.
I literally hit my limit this morning.
Yeah,
Getting them off. So it was their first day of back to school. I don't know about your kids. And
next
I'm
week.
standing, I forgot to I washed Spencer's coat and I forgot that it was in the wash still, so it wasn't dry. So I
Yep.
ran upstairs to go get another makeshift sweatshirt for him. And then as I'm up here, I can hear the kids beat the shit out of each other. And then someone's crying. And Spencer has a new thing where he cries and he screams at the same time.
Oh,
And
fun.
I just lost it. I was like, I'm sick of this shit. And I kicked a chair to scare the shit out of him a little extra. And I didn't mean to do that, but they were calm down, calm down. I'm like, no, you guys calm down.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. And then I just cried because then I felt bad afterwards. So
Yeah, because then you drop them off and then you're sitting alone with your thoughts and the guilt. But Mary, everyone is feeling, every parent right now is feeling what you're feeling. I don't know what the hell Florida schools do, but
Yeah.
it's 2 weeks off.
Why?
I don't know. But
When
I
do they
keep
get
thinking,
out of school?
That Friday before Christmas, the 22nd or 23rd
Okay.
or whatever it was, 22nd. But 2 whole fucking weeks. It's because I don't know why, but I don't remember 2 weeks off as a kid. We had a week off.
Yeah.
But what's that song, that Christmas song, where parents are waiting for kids? I'm like, that rings so true these days.
Let it snow, or isn't it or have a jolly or whatever? Parents are excited for school to be back in. What's that line in it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What the
everyone's
hell?
now I understand.
Yeah. Now I'm like, yeah, I want to drop kick them. Speaking of beating the shit out of each other, my boys are actually throwing punches now. So it's like getting in between them is like getting in between a pit bull fight. I'm going to get cold clocked by my 7 and 9-year-olds.
Yeah.
Jeez. These damn kids.
I know. This morning I was like, okay. That, and then I was just like, okay. I feel like we've been, I think because of winter break and the kids being at each other's throats too. I feel like Kev and I recently have been not, I said to him this morning, I said, I don't feel like we're doing our best. I feel like we've been doing our easiest. And it's not always the better approach to take the easiest route sometimes. And I feel like it's just been adding to fuel to the fire of them going at it, because then I can tell that he's agitated, and when he's agitated, then I get agitated.
Yep.
And then when I'm agitated, then he gets up.
It's just a trickle. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like we've just been a house of elevated voices.
Yep.
Lately. And I'm like, I'm so done. I'm like, we need to refocus everything in this household and slow down and just put more time towards us. Cause I think between Instagram and what I'm doing here, and then Kev has his own side gig stuff that he's trying to get off the ground and whatnot. I'm like, we just I know that's important, but at the same time we need to focus on schedule and focus on the kids and whatnot. Cause I'm just it's eating.
Well, it's helter skelter. It's just everything. It's just, it's like a tornado. It's life, add with kids, and then work. I mean, yes, you're a stay-at-home mom, but you're working. You're you're full. You wrote a motherfucking book. Holy shit, Mary, you wrote a book.
I did.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Seriously, I've never been prouder. I'm so proud of you, and it's killing it. But
it is doing decent. It's doing good, but yeah, no, it's there's a lot on the plate. And I'm 2024, I'm just I don't know what I want.
I was gonna say, did you make any resolutions, goals?
No. I mean, I shared about it today. I was just I've been seeing people share everything they get so specific.
Yeah.
And I think it's good, but I'm over here, and I said it this morning, I was like, I can't even figure out what I want for dinner.
Yeah.
So let alone what I want for the year. But I'm finding comfort in that. And I've been, I don't know are you into manifesting?
Oh God, yeah. I've been saying out loud what I mean, Mary and I have talked candidly about what I want to see for my life, especially in terms of Instagram. But I have been saying things like, not when, but if, not if, but when. When this happens, because I'm just Manifestation is
You need to
huge.
read the book that I'm reading. Hold on, let me grab my Kindle because I can read the title of it. It's
Yeah.
so good. Hold on. I'm like all into manifesting lately just because manifesting's super cool when you think about it. And like manifesting, I think some people get freaked out by it, but it's like, it's the same thing as praying. It honestly is. It's not, it's manifesting is essentially praying, but it is prayers being put into action.
Action.
So it's not like you're hoping for magic to happen type of thing.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest thing.
You're accepting good energies. Actually, I just watched a TikTok about Jim Carrey
Yeah.
and how he manifested his career.
Yeah.
And he said that he was, off of the Sunset Strip in LA. He was in these comedy clubs, and he came off stage one night, and he's walking back to his apartment, and he came back to his apartment, and he wrote himself a $10 million check.
Yeah.
And he held on to it, and he's like, I was able to cash that check one day,
Yeah.
in the future.
Well, and the
but
big thing about it too is like it's all about, so like even me today, I said like I'm just focusing on the here and now. Like I want to
Yep.
get really good at focusing on the now. And someone responded back saying like it was almost that's the thing with Instagram is whenever you post that stuff, somehow someone is going to twist it and
Always.
think that it's a negative thing. So if they are planning out or if they are specific with their goals, then they think that automatically then I am saying that that's wrong or making them feel bad when I'm saying that that's not what I want to do. And I was like, no, you are just being, you have the visualization portion. I'm focusing on the now because what the future is, and this is what this book says, and I've never thought about it before, the future is just a collection of nows.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, if you get really comfortable in where you are right now, you're never going to get to the future and where you want in the future if you don't put in the effort right now. So that would be like you saying, I want to get to 100K on Instagram. But if you don't do anything in the long run in today to get to it, you're never going to.
It's never going to happen.
No. So like with Jim Carrey writing a check to himself, like he wrote that as a visualization portion to probably every single day remind
Work
himself
harder.
of the now that he was in
Mm-hmm.
to be what he needed to be in order to get to the next day, and get closer and closer to that, that visualization portion.
I've seen it so many times with people that are like, why doesn't anything good happen to me? Everything is good is happening to other people. But I feel like you have to work at it. Like nothing that is worthwhile comes easy, right? Like you have to put work towards it, put your energies towards it.
That's your ego. That's your ego.
Yeah, it's your ego.
This whole book breaks down. It's called 15. Let me find the magic of manifesting, 15 advanced techniques to attract your best life, even when you think it's impossible.
See?
And the entire thing says it's right here, the past and the present moment doesn't need past or future events to propagate itself. It simply exists continuously and always, no matter what you do. Thus, when challenged in this manner, you can bet that the ego will always throw all sorts of obstacles in your path, which will snap you out of the present moment and plunge you into an unreal dimension of time. So the ego basically is the thing that's the victim mentality.
Yeah.
So the moment you compare
Like,
the past, so it's always going to put an obstacle in your way. But like the other thing that I thought was really cool in this, they said your soul, like everyone says, like you have a soul. I truly believe that people have a soul purpose and things like that. So your intuition is your soul trying to communicate to you. So that's why when you feel your like an intuition or gut feeling towards one thing and it feels right when you decide on that and it feels right, it's because your soul is like, okay, yes, we're on the right path. But if you go against that intuition, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting off the path and that you screwed yourself, but it might mean, like, if you think about it, if you're going in a straight line and you choose not to trust your intuition, you might have to detour, and that might be a little bit of a rockier path to get back on the straight and narrow. So it might be a little bit bumpier. And they say that the best time that you ever connect with your soul is when you fall in love. Or when you feel love.
Yeah.
And that would be when your mom gut happens. Like when the mom intuition is when
I was just about to say that motherly instinct.
Yeah. So I'm like, that is like, I don't know. This book is just, I'm reading it and I'm like, I love this so much.
I know. I need to read. What was it called again?
Let me see. The Magic of Manifesting, 15 Advanced Techniques to Attract Your Best Life, Even When You Think It's Impossible. And I'm trying to think of who.
Amazing.
It's by Rue. Ruu Shinohara.
God bless you.
God bless you. Yeah. I don't know, it was really good. It was on Kindle Unlimited. Like, I have free, like,
Yeah.
Kindle books that I can get, and I was like, "Oh, I like this." So, everyone
Yeah.
go read this book. It's really good.
I know. I think the new year, I used to set these really crazy goals for myself or, resolutions. And I stopped doing that because not so much like strict. I still have goals. Like I
Yeah.
don't think I need the new year to spring the goal. I just feel like it's like, all right, I do like starting afresh
Yeah.
and saying, all right, let's really give this a go and let's take the world by storm. And Lauren from Happily, Lauren,
Yep.
what's her handle again? She had said that, and I liked how she put it. She was like, create a goal. And if you fail, that's okay, but keep going towards your goal. It's better
Yeah.
than not trying at all.
Yeah.
And, I'm a huge goal oriented person. I feel like you are too. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a complacent or mediocre human. It's just not what I am. And I always want to supersede myself in some ways. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I do think people put like crazy unrealistic goals on themselves. Don't do that to yourself. Do something that is attainable and then maybe have one far reaching one that, you have on the table, but maybe you'll get to it. I don't know.
I think, yeah, well, and it's the important thing, and that's why, like, even for me, is like, I don't necessarily, I have goals. Like, trust me, I have my goals too, and that's what
Yeah.
I said, like, in my entire thing. But I feel like for the past 6 years, I have just been one moving target to the next moving target to the next, where I'm
Survival.
like, I just need to sit in
Yep.
this right now. And especially because, like, you and I have talked a lot about, like, if we're having any more babies. I honestly don't think we're having any more babies over
Yeah.
here. Like, I feel like that has definitely been a conversation lately between Kev and I, where we're
Yep.
like, I think that that's it. So I'm like, we're trying to get more comfortable in the here and the now of being like, I don't know. We're getting a stinking puppy on
I'm
Saturday.
so excited.
So I'm so excited, but that's also a prime example of myself where I'm like, I cannot sit still
Yeah. What's
in
wrong with us?
something.
Is
I
it
don't
because we
know.
have ADHD?
I don't know. The girl I'm working with for period stuff, like my
Yeah.
PMDD stuff, she is like, you definitely are avoiding something. And I was like,
Actually,
I
I
know.
know
I
what I'm
just don't know
avoiding.
what
It's
it
always my
is.
laundry.
Yeah, I was like,
So,
I know. I'm avoidant. Like, I'm avoidant of something, or like that complacency of sitting still with
yeah.
yourself. Really, I don't like that idea of sitting quiet with myself for some reason. So she's like, you need to do that. And I'm like, no, I don't want
And that's why yoga, like at the end of yoga, they're like, lay still and just namaste. And I'm like, I have no idea how to fucking namaste. Can
to.
someone
Mm-mm.
teach me? Because I know it's a practice that you have to practice,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to sit still either.
Yeah.
My
No.
wheels are always spinning. And I'm just like,
Exactly. So that's my goal. That's my goal. So I have a goal for this year, and that's my
yeah,
goal of being like, can I sit still
yeah,
and just enjoy where I'm at right now? And I think by doing that, and I think honestly, and I said this to my clients when I was a personal trainer, because when they would have like a weight loss goal,
yeah.
they would always look at that like, I want to lose 50 pounds, I want to lose XYZ. And they would get so harped up on that they would forget to enjoy
Uh,
the
I've been
the
there so many
path.
times.
Yeah, the path that they're on. And like, if you really get to enjoy where you're at in the journey to it, and like the results, and you really like the progress portion, you're going to get the results. And
Yeah,
that's the thing, is like, we tend to skirt past like it's like that whole, like I said, it's the focusing on the now portion. Like, your future is just a collection of nows. It's like a marathon runner. They're not looking at, they can't see the finish line. They have to look
yeah,
at what they're doing right there in that second, or else they're never going to get there. So it's
yeah,
like, you
exactly.
can have a goal, but you have to look at like here. And that's what I'm not good at. I'm not good at just looking down for a second and just like taking a second to like appreciate it and then go forward.
I think that's very honest of you. And I feel like most people, I don't know many people that do just sit around, maybe because I'm always around other like-minded humans that we're on it. We're the next thing. I think one of my goals this year is to say no more, or to
Yeah.
really like and that's been an ongoing goal and a resolution for the last few years, especially becoming a mom. I've said yes to so many my goal for last year was to say no to birthday parties.
Yeah.
to literally say no to some. I was getting invited to so many kids' birthday parties that it
Yeah.
was like, it's time consuming. One, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like at the time, Bryn was still pretty little. So I was just
Yeah.
like bringing her. So like slowing down is really difficult. And I know whoever's listening, if you're someone like us, like we feel you, we get you. But if you are the opposite, like teach us your ways.
I know. I don't think it's, I think it's just the culture that we live in. I think we
Right? It's
need
like
to get
on
from
to the
plan
next.
A to plan B. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
always looking at the next thing. And eventually it's, I
Well, it
think
leads to
that's,
burnout.
well, it leads to burnout, but I also think there is a huge reason as to why, like, leading back to like the whole discussion of like baby making days and stuff like that. Like, I think that's probably why that's bringing out a lot in
Yep.
me, is like thinking that that is most likely done. And there is a fear with the complete,
It's
it's not complacency, but it is complacency in
finality.
the, yeah, in the rest of my story, if that makes sense. Like, we've been
100%.
so chapter A to chapter B to chapter C to form this story that we're like, okay, well, the plot's set, so let's just ride it out until the end. And everyone's, I'm not prepared for that. Like, part of me kind of is freaked out by that a little bit, where I'm like,
Yeah.
ah. So that's what I'm trying to get comfy with this year, is like, can we just sit and like
Yeah.
enjoy it?
And well, because you really did have kids kind of back to back, so to speak.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's just the chaos of life. But I had a conversation with a patient about this very topic. When I was pregnant with Bryn, I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm done. And I told her my age, and I was like, yeah, it's craziness. Like, my life's crazy. And she's like, well, there has to be an end at some point. You can't continue to have kids forever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's right. Like,
Yeah.
where, like for me, like, obviously I knew I was getting a C-section. So I still, now I'm getting more like, more to terms with it. But like, it's still weird to say I will never experience a little baby again.
Yeah.
That is a kind of a paralyzing thought if you think about it.
Well, it's a paralyzing thought, but it's also paralyzing to think of like, one day, like, you're just only getting further and further from not being needed anymore, which again, it all depends on what day that sounds like. Some days that sounds like a fucking honeymoon. Like, that sounds awesome. But then other days I'm like, God, that's heartbreaking. And then it's also, I've actually said this to Emily from Made for Motherhood. I don't know if you
love Emily.
Yeah, she's wonderful. But I was talking to her and I said, I truly think that a big reason why like women struggle with the closing of that chapter and just losing themselves in motherhood is that we have never built women up beforehand to feel confident in who they are.
Yeah.
So, and I think motherhood is the first introduction in teaching us some sort of identity. I think it gives us some sort of purpose in life, which is wonderful, but it shouldn't have been our first. It shouldn't have been our first purpose.
No.
And I feel like we should have something else in our life that has given us a purpose, because after the kids go, and they will, it's terrifying. And I'm there. Like, I know that I have more purpose to give, but it's terrifying to think that they won't be my sole reason, because at some point they're going to have their own lives. I'm going to have to go back to my own life. So that's why you have to pour into your marriage. That's why you have to do those things. At some point you're going to turn around and look at each other and be like, do I still like you?
Yeah. Like, I think I'm a big proponent in go on the date night, take the weekend trips, have hard conversations, don't ignore things, say things when you want to say them, because at the end of it, like you said, they're going to grow up, and the whole point is for us to let them grow up and spread their wings, and hopefully we've made all the right decisions in our motherhood journey, that they will make good decisions, but then you're left with each other. And I have so many friends that now have children that are older, and they feel like it's an awakening for them. They feel rejuvenated, or like they get their like more pep in their step. And I can't imagine. I actually will probably cry every time one of them leaves the house. I swear to God. Also, I'm a helicopter mom. I can't even let them go outside up front without me being like, what are you doing? So like, I'm such a helicopter, which is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Helicopter moms unite. Okay.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because I'm even that way. I let Haley play out on the deck today, and I was like, kept looking over my shoulder because sitting right there, and she's literally
Yeah.
locked on the deck. But I was like, what if someone came in the backyard and just like swiped her?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like
It's
grabbed her. I was
it's
like, oh god,
crazy.
I
But
know.
it's important to well, I mean, I was supposed to be in New York and
Yeah. How
that
are your
got
parents
canceled because
feeling?
everyone got COVID. They're fine. Luckily, I've heard that this strand of COVID going around right now is
My
very,
mom
very
and dad have
contagious.
COVID right now, so
See?
we.
Yeah.
And we all just I just took a test yesterday because we literally was just with them,
Yeah.
and Spencer had the flu last week, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
maybe we had the COVID. So maybe it was
Yeah.
COVID, but I was negative. So I was like, I guess not. I don't know where they got it from, but my mom's fine. She's like, this is not really that bad.
And it was fast moving. It was they all got sick, like my entire family. They were all together for Christmas, and then I had to cancel my trip. But my whole point, I really want to spend more time with my family and with my kids
Yeah.
because I'm seeing how quickly especially the youngest, that
Yeah.
third baby, holy moly, grows up so much quicker than your first baby. It's
Mm-hmm.
monumental. It's crazy. She's saying so many words. She's doing so many things. Like it's just, I'm like, I just felt like I just had an infant. Like we just had babies.
I
Like
know.
what the hell?
I know. Yeah.
I don't
Katie's
know.
daughter and my daughter are like only 2 weeks apart. So
Yeah. Oh, we
it's
got to
wild.
get those little
I
babes
know.
together one day.
I know.
We
They'll
got
probably
to.
ignore each other though. So we got to get them together
Yeah.
when they're like a little bit older because at this age they'll probably just stare at each other and like
Yeah. They're
walk
like, what the hell?
in
Who are
different
you?
directions.
Another little
Go for it.
Mary. When are we getting
Yes.
back together? Like, for real.
Soon, hopefully. I was what day? We're in January already.
Mary and I were together in November. We were with
I
Kim
say
Curry.
I want to get together for April, if that's the case.
Let's do Nashville.
Nashville. I talked to mommy Reela Sam. So I told her
Sam!
because I talked to like a few people because that Mom 2.0 Connect is going on. So I was like, at least we can like write it off for taxes.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
was like,
I
we can go
for
there.
sure will.
Yeah. Because I told her, I texted Sam because Sam from Mommy Realist by everyone. She's just fucking awesome. But
She's great.
it was wild. But I messaged her because we recorded a podcast and I messaged her. I was like, dude, I cannot post this podcast because we got talking.
Yeah.
So it was not streamlined at all. It was like
All
you
over
and
the
I are
place.
streamlined in what we're
Yeah.
trying to talk about, but hers and I were like everywhere where we're like, we'll cut this out, we'll cut that out. And I'm like, oh Lord. I was like, this is just gonna be a terrible episode. So we gotta redo it again. All three of us should do one episode
it would
again.
be a blast. Well,
It'll be
Sam,
fun.
lives like 10 minutes down the road. So I should really just get her together and we do it together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's lots of fun things ahead for this future and especially this year. I am excited for 2024. It's an even year.
Yep.
And I like even years. And guess what, Mary? This year I turn fucking 40.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Half.
Same with Kev.
Half.
Kev
Yep.
turns 40 in November. So
1984, baby.
Yeah.
What in the F?
Yeah.
What are you going to do for his
Crazy.
40th? Does he want to do anything?
No, not yet. He hasn't talked about that.
Yeah.
Although it's in November. He got invited back to London next year.
Gotta go.
So maybe we'll see. Because at this point, my parents,
Oh my God,
it might be too fresh for my parents at this point to even ask them.
They did have quite the eventful time.
My mom had pneumonia. Did I tell you that?
I can't believe that she's taking care of 3 kids.
Yeah, she was taking care of 3 kids and then ended up with like pneumonia like 2 days later. And the whole time she had pneumonia, but she was just miserable and she had no idea that she had pneumonia. So like she's, I think, scarred from that a little bit.
Of course.
So I'm not going to bring that up. But I told Kev, I was like, oh, we can bring the kids. And my mom, of course, she was like, why would you spend all that money to take them? Just take them to New York City. And I'm like, oh, I guess that's true. But
yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, there's so many people that take their kids to Europe and they have fabulous trips. I don't know what my thing would be like. What would my kids eat if we went somewhere like, different country?
Surprisingly, they don't have that many bad, like they have French fries and the pubs in London at least had all of them for the most part had mac and cheese.
Oh, well, that's good.
And it was decent, like baked macaroni and cheese that I know I was actually eating because the food is not really that fabulous. So that was like the only thing that sounded decent to me.
Yeah.
But
what is with the Brits and their food not being that? I've heard that. I've never been, but I've heard that this food is like,
My British friends can weigh in on that one.
Yeah,
I don't know. Well, because it depends on where you go. Because I like some of like the Thai food, and we had like there's some like a noodle place in London that's really good that I like. And then we went to some Italian place there in if anyone here is in the UK or goes to the UK in Chelsea, It's called La Mia Mama. Oh my God. It was
Yeah.
like the best thing. And Kevin even, he was like, I think that's probably the best meal I've ever had in my entire life. It was so good.
Incredible.
But it's like fresh on Italian as opposed to like British pub food. I think the
Yes.
British pub food is just
Yeah.
I think it's just the typical British food that has now been commercialized a little bit. So it's like a chain. So it's like
Yep.
I don't know. So
Jeez. Well,
but
I definitely want to do more traveling. I don't know what I'm doing for my 40th. I know I'm probably
I'm
gonna have.
coming down for that.
I was gonna say
That
I'm
I'll
gonna have a
plan.
banger. So
Yeah,
it's
I'll come down.
yeah. 5 years ago, I threw a huge party at the house here, and I had since I've been 20. Every 5 years, I throw some sort of big party for myself. It's the Leo in me, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I'm gonna figure it out. But
When's it? August? August.
August,
August what
yeah,
day?
August 15th.
I thought so.
So
Okay. All right.
it's always like the week my kids go back to school down here, which is so early. It's like
That's
middle
so
of the
early.
summer.
That's so early. And
It's
when do
so
they get
early.
out? In May?
Yeah, they get out in May, end of
Okay.
May, and then they're back like middle of August. So
Yeah, that's nuts.
I know it's
I wouldn't.
crazy, but
Yeah.
I'm going to Mexico in May, so got lots of travel this year.
Yeah.
But I'm manifesting big things for myself, and anyone else should manifest too. Like praying, I pray a lot too, but manifesting, I've been writing things down,
Yeah.
like writing them down. So I think that's going to be helpful too. And
Yeah.
I know some people make like vision boards. Have you ever
Mm-hmm.
made one?
Mm-mm. No, and that's the whole thing. They actually, like in this whole book, they talk about visualization. Actually, let me see what they say about it because I just passed it and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's see. No, I have never done it. I want to, but sometimes it overwhelms me of like finding pictures where I'm like, it's too much.
Well, who has magazines anymore? Remember when we used to do that when we were younger,
Oh yeah. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
cut out a bunch of shit and like tape it,
Yep.
or it was usually about back then. It was about like what I wanted to look like.
Yeah, of course. It was
It
like I
was
had
so
Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, all over my room as a teenager.
Here, let's see. Visualization is a powerful tool you can use to manifest your reality. You can use visualization to manifest every single stage of your life. Your desire may not arrive in the exact fashion in which you visualize it, but know that they will manifest in some form. Visualization need not only be used for what you desire in the future, but also at your current stage. Every goal can be broken down to steps and stages, and while it's great to visualize your end destination, your attention should primarily be focused on achieving what you need to achieve right now. Thus, make it the primary goal to subject of your mental images and something to find it coming to fruition in no time. This is how you achieve your goals. And then something I know they talk about like filters. Hold on. Let's see. It's actually pretty easy, like pretty. The purpose of declaring this intention. Nope. Okay, no. Hold on. Apply positive filters full of images that feel good to you deep down. Do not adopt someone else's filters or filters which make you think society or that you think society will accept. This
Yep.
gives you undue importance to your obstacles. So they like talk about it like a filter. Basically, if you like put a red light over something else, it's going to drown out some color in the room. Like
Yep.
everyone carries their own filter in how they see things. So that's why you don't want to take what someone else is doing as your vision because their filter and the way they skew things is going to be completely different than yours.
Totally different.
I was like, I like everything that's in this book. I was like, this is spot on.
But that's so true. Like, and I think anyone should walk around life thinking that way too. Like, I, I don't know. Maybe we've talked about this before. I'm not jealous or envious of many people ever.
Mm-mm.
But like, if anything, like I find friends or people and I'm like, I like that about that person.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to be more like that. Or, wow, they have like a really nice house. Like what, I'm going to strive to, make my house nicer. Like, I feel like so many people are envious and I definitely, I know that you get it too. Like you get the backlash on social media. I feel like
Yeah.
it's a lot of backhanded compliments.
Yep.
Those are like, I don't get a lot of hate, but I get a lot of backhanded things like that where I'm just like, you're jealous or like, oh, wow, like you get a lot of date nights. Good for you, And I'm like, that's a tone of jealousy. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's hard. Well, it's hard on social media front to like, because it's the trap of relatability. That's like the whole thing. I've talked about it before. It's like, we've talked about the whole relatable thing
Yeah.
where it's like, relatable has become, but it's a filter. That's the thing. It's like relatable to who? But if you're
Yeah.
thinking about like the visualization and filters, like
Yeah.
you got to find people that are, you know, you've got to realize that everyone's seeing their life in their own filter, and you got to see yours in your own filter. But you can like, I don't know, like take opinion. Let's see what it says about that. Focus inward and prioritize yourself, your desires and your vision of life and how you want to live to determine what sort of filters make you feel good. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
You have to determine what filters you want from everyone else's filters.
Yes. I feel like I do that. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I like this. You know, it's hard. I mean, the comparison game is strong these days, and
Yeah.
you can easily get set in that trap, especially in our world.
Yeah. Well, here's
but-
what it says. It says, this is how you achieve your goals. Goals are based on what you consider important, and the things you consider important are the source of your joy. The thoughts and opinions of others have a right to exist, as everything does, but there's no hard and fast rule that says you need to engage with them. Stay true to your intention and proceed along your chosen path to living the life you've always wanted. Remember, your path is yours alone. Nobody else can take that journey from you. What may work for you or seem right for you can be harmful to someone else, and vice versa.
Yep.
Always check with your soul to determine what is right for you and start acting on it.
I love this book.
It's so fucking good. The only time you have is now, the present, and this is the only place where happiness exists. By aligning your goal with your current existence, aided by the knowledge you've gained in this chapter, you'll blah, blah, blah. So it's all about like figuring out like what filters feel right, and then does it settle right with your soul? And it's like that intuition part. Like if it feels kind of, and everyone has a moment like that where if something is off, you can't like eat. I know for me, like I can't really eat well, or it's like, I guess it's anxiety a little bit too, but it's like something just is off.
Well,
and then
your mental equilibrium, your physical, like I have a very strong gut instinct. I feel things. I always say I'm a little bit of a clairvoyant with certain things, but
you are,
like,
you are.
Yeah.
You guessed my sister-in-law's, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law had a baby.
Yeah, I was like, this is a boy.
Yeah.
What did they name him? Cameron?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love it. But no, you have to, I don't know. It's
hard.
It's hard.
Hard.
It is. So
you just got to go around and pick what filters you want from people, and
and honestly,
see if it fits right.
You just live your own life authentically. I really truly believe I've gotten to where I am in my life because I've really been myself. I feel like you're like that too. There's not many people that can truly sit with themselves, and like themselves. I don't know. I like who I am. Maybe I'm a little bit of a narcissist when I say that, but I like who I am. But I want to be better.
Same.
I want to be a better mom. I want to be a better wife. I want to be a better sister. I want to be a better daughter. These are all things that I want this year and forever. Because I feel like my parents, for instance, like going back to like wanting to spend more time with my family, with my children. Time is fleeting. My parents are getting older. They're not in great health. Like realistically, I only see my parents 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And if I think about their lifespan, like I really only have 10 more years, maybe good years with them.
Yeah.
They're 70. So like, I really started thinking about that, and that gives me a lot of anxiety. But I'm like, I just have to make the most of every single day because, especially in our husband's line of work, we know that people's lives end all the time. Tragedy happens, I just read a story about a girl that I went to high school with. She was riding her bike in November and got hit head on by a car going the wrong way. And she didn't elaborate, but she lost a lot. She said, it looks like maybe she lost her eye. And I'm like, holy shit. And she's like, I'm lucky to be alive. And she even wrote, she's like, I am living my life to the fullest because I know how quickly it could be taken away.
Yeah.
As I get older too, because I think me approaching 40 has really given me some feels. Let me tell you, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I just want to live this life and live it in the best way that I can and give my all in every aspect, which sometimes is exhausting.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I cried this morning because I'm like,
Well, and
it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. Like and it's okay to give yourself grace too. Like,
that's how even when the kids were like acting like little shits this morning, I was like, I just want to be a good mom. You guys are making it so hard.
Be good, God damn it.
I know. I was like, I have all these plans. It's like you and I talk and we're like, we're going to be intentional. We're going to get it right. And then tomorrow morning kicks off and then we're like beating the shit out of each other. And we're like, God damn it.
I've yelled so much today, and then they yell back at me, and I'm like, you can't talk to me like that. And then they're like, you can't talk to me like that. I'm like, they're not wrong.
I know.
They're not wrong. Then I'm like, I'm the mother. Like, it just becomes crazy. They need to go back to school. That's really what it is.
When did they go back?
On Monday.
Oh,
so
fuck
on
that.
yeah.
No,
like,
no.
What the hell, Florida?
No.
But I am grateful that they're healthy and happy. We've had a crazy December.
Yeah.
It started with pink eye. Then
brain swallowed almost swallowed.
We thought she did. We thought she swallowed a button battery. Let me tell you, I've never heaved that baby in the friggin' car seat faster. And my husband's like, well, let's look up what we need to do. I'm like, I already know what we need to do. We need to bring her to the fucking hospital.
Yeah.
Like, never, ever, ever doubt yourself as a mother. We know best. We're on it quicker. Like, I got her in that hospital, and I was like, she swallowed a button battery, and they got her in. I was not even there 15 minutes. They already x-rayed her. Like, they were so quick because time is of the essence with that. And if you are listening, button batteries kill children. They kill children all the time. And it's a silent thing, especially babies or toddlers. Basically what happens is it eats through your stomach lining, it eats through your esophagus, and
everything.
Then it eats through your aorta, and that's how these babies end up dying.
Yeah, no, it's awful. But I saw you. Did you see that video from Jen Hamilton? I had her on the podcast.
Yes,
and she talks about it.
I think I reposted it on TikTok. I cried so hard, and it gave me chills.
Yeah, she talked about that story when she was on the podcast where she got called down. If you guys listen, I don't know what episode. I'll link that in the show notes. But she was on, and she's a nurse that works in labor and delivery. But because of that, and they, labor and delivery, they see everything, unfortunately. But they have usually, if there's a case of a stillborn or, anything like that, they have like kits where they can make,
molds
little mementos
hands.
and like mass or casts of their hands and stuff like that. And they were called down to the ER to go make a cast of a little boy who was 2 years old that died randomly. And I guess the mom was a physician assistant.
Yeah. And she didn't know. She had no idea.
She had no idea. I guess she had like a bloody nose and then had a fever, and I think he vomited. And then at one point he just passed out, and then it was too late at that point, and they missed it. Like, I think the x-ray had just
missed it. And it actually went into, I think it went through his aorta, and he ended up bleeding out.
Yeah. Just check every like, I know toothbrushes have them.
Toothbrushes, any like little like trinket, like
remotes.
Remotes.
What was else? It out of? It was out of your like little glow stick.
So my older boys, I have an age gap, obviously, between my boys and the baby, but they came home from a Christmas, like a holiday party at school, and it was a glow light that you just like press, and it was foam. But I remember, like, I've had them in the house before, and I've gotten rid of them, and nothing in my house is button battery.
Yeah.
And if it does, it's like hidden, or it's nowhere where the kids are playing with it. But we were at a hockey game all day. We came home. The baby was with the sitter. And listen, my sitter's amazing. Like, I've used her a million times. She didn't know. Like, it was cracked. But Keith was like, hey, I just found a button battery in her hand. And I was like, well, I know exactly where it came from, because I know where we have nothing with button batteries.
Yeah.
And we only found 2 out of the 3. And that's when I just said, I am not taking a chance. I am getting her to the hospital. And I was a lunatic. I was a total lunatic.
Yeah, because I think they even say to give them honey if they're over a year old. Honey. Give them like a tablespoon of honey.
It's supposed to slow down the process.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so stressful.
So, I mean,
but toothbrushes, toys, thermometers. I know we just opened up and broke a thermometer.
Oh my God, the thermometer. Yes, I forgot about the thermometers.
Have them. Like kids' toothbrushes. That's why it's like the little like ones. If anyone has like, I know what has a button battery. It freaked me out once. I wonder if it's actually in here. It's like a little remote for.
Oh yeah, those like little remotes. Yes, they're
for Bluetooth.
Skinny and thin, right?
Yeah, it's like for a Bluetooth like clicker, because of like whatever. And Haley grabbed it, but I had already taken out the button battery, and I didn't realize that it was just an empty remote. Yep. And she brought it over to me and empty, and I was like, oh my God. But then I remembered that I had taken it out, and I was like, okay, it's fine. But those things, especially if you create content, like just keep aware of that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's straight. Well, we ended up finding the third one. It was in the toilet.
There you go.
So I was like, well, thank you. But it had already started to rust the toilet. It was probably there for like an hour or so. I don't know.
Yeah.
But man, it was so scary. Very
Yeah.
scary.
And then you were working a ton, right?
Oh my God, now I'm working full time. I'm
Oh, you
like,
are? Shit. Okay.
yeah. One of my coworkers went out on maternity leave, and Jess, if you're listening, I love you. She had a little baby girl, and mama's gonna make that money, So
Yeah.
I'm biting off more than I can chew, Mary.
Yeah, well, that's our life. That's the whole point of this.
I'm like, holy shit, the candle is burning and it's coming at both ends and it's coming real close to the middle here.
Yeah, well, that's how I was at the end of all of this, which actually, for everyone listening, because we'll wrap it up and whatnot, but changes, obviously, there's no Tuesday episode anymore for all this. I burnt myself out with the podcast.
Okay, I'm proud of you for making that decision, though, Mary.
Yeah, I needed to. I'm slowing down on the front to be more intentional. I told Kev, I said, I'm doing less so I can do more. And he was like, that makes no sense. And I'm like, yes, it does.
Oh, it makes so much more sense.
I said, I am doing less so that way I can pour in adequately into what I'm doing and do more with what actually matters. Because doing 2 times a week, I was like, I want to bring this to YouTube. So for everyone listening, this is going to be over on YouTube. If you go to the show notes, you can watch this. If you want to watch Katie and I, you're going to be able to watch all the episodes. Katie's still going to be coming on every other week. So that way you can hear her. And then that way every, month, because it eats up 2 episodes per month that you and I are on. I can bring on, 2 guests, and that way it's not like an overwhelming amount of episodes that we need to catch up on. You can listen on Friday or listen over the weekend when you're folding laundry and just make it easy.
I wonder when people listen. I feel like I listen to your podcast. I don't always listen to our conversations together unless I'm like, what did I say?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I never know. We just get going
listen.
sometimes.
Well, I listen because I have to edit everything. That was another reason. I do everything at this point. And full disclosure, this podcast doesn't monetize anything. We don't get paid. Katie and I do not get paid for doing any of this stuff. We're just doing it out of a labor of love in hopes that we draw some sort of attention.
Someone fucking pay us, please. Obviously we're doing it not getting paid because we really enjoy
doing it.
But also, I get so much feedback, and I hope you guys listening do enjoy us together because we do enjoy this. And Mary, thank you always for bringing me on. Always. I mean, it's been over a year now that I've been on your podcast.
Holy shit. Is it really?
I think so. I think we're coming up on me being a year in. When did you start it?
September of 2022?
Yeah.
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 Shit.
So it's been a year of us doing this.
You were my first episode. Weren't you the first episode that I did?
One of the first, I think maybe the third or something. Yeah. So
that's wild.
I'm in it for the long haul here.
Absolutely, you are. Yeah, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna see where this goes. We're gonna get cozy in the new setup with YouTube, especially because YouTube is the big thing that I've been encouraged to get our
faces. They want to see
our asses
us
on.
That's why I have make fun today.
Yeah, I thought about that afterwards. I was like, I need to clean myself up. I'm gonna set up a whole studio, so I'm gonna make this whole a new. I bought these decals that I can put behind me, and we're gonna get lighting, and we're gonna make it. We're gonna make
official.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I'm looking forward to the next recording.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get. We'll have to get creative. We should go on stories and whatnot and ask what we can
Yeah, let's. I mean, I know people love when we talk about scantily clad shit.
I had an idea for Tuesdays, but again, we're doing this on Friday. Unless we moved one to a Tuesday and did triggered Tuesdays and find videos on the internet that trigger the shit out of us and talk about it.
Let's do it.
We could do that.
I've got a boatload.
Yeah, we can find some.
I love it.
Fun. So awesome. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Katie.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Yeah. Let's kick it off 2024 and whatever the fucking way you want to. Doesn't matter. If you have a goal, awesome. Go for it.
Yes.
If not, who cares? Your goal is to just be here.
Survive. If you're just in the season of surviving, we cheers to you.
Yeah, cheers. I'm right there with you. Swollen red eyes and all after crying all day. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.